Welcome back to How to Play Guitar. This is our series for people who've just got a new one and they're not exactly sure how to kind of get up and running properly. We're just going to run through in this lesson how to actually change your guitar strings, because on an acoustic it's a little bit different to the electric with the little pins that you've got down here, and it can be a little bit daunting, especially if you don't have a special guitar tool or anything like that. So we'll just run through that now, just on how to actually change the guitar strings. So lay your guitar down on the floor or wherever you've got space really. First thing to do is to take off the old manky string, which let's just start with this bottom E. Make sure you spin it the right way, which is clockwise as you look at it like this, to take it a bit looser before you decide to tackle the peg. If you take that out before, it's going to go pinging, which is not what you need. So we'll just reduce this. That's a bit of a dusty one, isn't it? I'll have to dust that. In fact, it's a good opportunity once you're it's stringless on the guitar to actually dust everything underneath, dust some of the frets. This is a very unusual guitar because however much I seem to dust these frets, they have this weird tendency to kind of, I don't know, change colour, which is very odd. Anyway, so once you've unwound this string, you can actually get guitar tools to help you with this. I've got one, which I would recommend once you start doing it seriously. It looks like this. It's got like a string cutter on the end. It's got a winder, which is this, and then that little attachment there is to actually get the little pegs out, although sometimes I find it's not really strong enough and I need to deploy the tweezers. But this is quite good because it just saves you a lot of twisting. It's a lot faster, and I would say if you're going to give yourself one guitar accessory, apart from maybe a capo, this is a good one. So you unwind the string, take it out of its little slot there. I tend to line it up so that it's straight for when I'm changing the string like that. So dusty, I don't know why, because I play you all the time. Anyway, then we get that string off, and then we go down to this end here. It's quite hard to do this with one hand, actually, whilst holding the camera, and that is supposed to slip underneath this peg, see, like that, and then it's supposed to pull it out. Oh, I think we're in luck here. So we've managed to lever this out, and just if you've never seen it before, this is what the pegs actually look like. They've got a little channel which the guitar string sits in. So you get your new string, and what you're going to do is plop it in the hole, whatever, like that, and then this little plasticky channel bit that we've seen before needs to follow the string down. So make sure that's at a good angle there. And I just push it in to start with, like that. And really, you should be able to just do it with your finger and push it down. They can hammer it in if you like, but as you saw, they can be then pretty tough to get out on the other end. So you take the other side of the string. Now in this case, I'm not actually putting on a brand new string because these ones are relatively okay. I'm just going to reinsert the old one that we had. But get it through that little hole there. And the reason I've lined it up is just make it easy to put it through like that. I've done it straight. Normally yours won't be all bent out of shape, but obviously this one is. So that's pulled through now, and you've got to wind it over the top, which is a pretty tough move, to be honest with you, but I'll show you how that looks now. I'll just do it first of all. So that's how it should look. So I've taken this bit of the string, looped it round and over and back on itself again. I also actually pulled out a bit of the string from the other end because it was sitting quite low underneath that plastic peg. So I just sort of tugged at it and it came up and gave me a little bit extra. Now you can just simply wind it up like this. I'm not going to use the tool, just to show you where you want the string to go here. So you want it to go underneath the bit that's already there. Pushing down, if you can see, I'm pushing down with my thumb here as well to keep it low. And then let it wind round and round. It's gradually going to come up on its own. You keep going with it. Now, if you've got enough, you can actually make sure it winds underneath that bit there. That's what you want to do. You see how it's going underneath? Just to keep everything nice and tight and locked in. And just keep going round until you hit your E. And the last thing you need to do is snip the end off. I do tend to use this tool for that. Cut it off, and you're away. Bye. In fact, you can cut it a bit further down than that, and sometimes push it under as well, just to keep things safe. You don't want to hurt your fingers when you're doing this again. This is the ideal length. Because I've used an old string, it doesn't show it quite as well as some of the other windings that I've done, but you want it to be wound around this many times really, or a few times at least, just to give it a little bit more grip, I would say. Well, I hope that's useful, just to have a little guide on how you can change your strings. It took me ages to work it out myself because I never had a proper lesson on it, but I think once you've got to grips with the bottom bit here, then you should be okay. And also, do not worry if these little pins ping off or snap or break, because sometimes just the nature of them being plasticky or wooden, depending on what guitar you have, they will break, and you can buy them online on Amazon or from a guitar shop or whatever. They tend to be super cheap. In fact, if you've got an acoustic and you're planning on changing the strings relatively often, I would just get a backup set anywhere. I'll put a link to some up here that you can get. In fact, the one that I've had to replace the bottom one on my guitar here, you probably won't be able to see, but it's very slightly different to the rest of them because it actually snapped when I opened the guitar, which was great. And also just make sure they're nice and tight in, because you don't want them to go pinging off. But I hope that's useful. Happy stringing, happy changing. And if you want more of these beginner videos, then just let me know and we'll do a few more in the future. But until then, peace out and we'll see you next time.